Hey, Russ here. Welcome back to my shop. Today I want to talk about my face vise. I finally got it put on my workbench. Now I did mount mine right here in the center on this face of my table, my workbench. And as I told you before, I had these bench dog holes around the perimeter. Well, as you've seen almost everybody do when they put a face vise in, first thing you want to do is start drilling holes this way so that you can put a piece in this way using your bench dog to clamp it down like an end vise. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't need to do that, believe it or not. You want to drill bench dog holes to support your workbench vise like a face vise. What you really want is to put your bench dog holes along the edge here. And let me show you why. If you're going to hold a board, there's three ways to hold it. Either to do work on the edge, to do work on the end grain, or to do work on the face. So, you want to work on the edge of the board, you just put it in like this. Easy peasy, no big deal, no brainer, and you can work on the edge of the board in your face vise. And now let's turn it this way. And you do it. Well, when this will work unless that board starts getting pretty tall. And instead of this board, if I wanted to do this board, well, I have another problem. I don't think I'm going to be able to work on the end of that board. There. So, how do we work on the end of the board and still use our face vise? Well, quite simply, you've seen a lot of guys do it. You put your board in here on the side, but then you start to get this racking. So to prevent the racking, everybody wants to make that tool with all the little fingers so you can drop them down in here and do that. But you don't have to do any of that. You want to take this board, all you need is a piece of scrap board that's the same thickness as the board you're clamping, and your quick clamp, and then just put this on your board, your scrap piece of wood. Now drop that into your vise on this side. Now you can take this board and drop it in this side and clamp it down, and guess what? You now can hold any board of any size you want. This board is a little bigger, so I take a piece of scrap and I drop this one in here. Now I can take a longer board like this and drop it in here and clamp it down. And now this board is held in place just as good as this board was. And I can even take a board as long as this and put it in here, and I can still work on the end of this board. So you can use your face vise with this simple little scrap wood trick. You can still take any board and work on the end of it, unless the board is really super long. But that's okay too. You can still use your vise to do those things. You just have to think about it. But there's the third way you want to hold your piece of wood, and that is to work on the face of the vise. So if I want to work on the face of this board, I just take my one bench dog, put it there, open this up till this bench dog is beyond it, center it on there, bring this up, clamp it down. Now you're clamped between that bench dog and here, and you know what? That's more than enough to hold that board for you to work on the face of it. But what if the board is longer? What if the board is this long instead? Now, if I take and put my bench dog in here now and clamp it down, this board is supported all the way the full length of this board here on the bench. But out here in this corner and this corner, it's not. And quite honestly, not only that, not held very good by this 2-point contact. Well, this is why you want all these bench dog holes here. Because what we're going to do is quite simply do a 3-point contact instead of a 2. So on this bench, find the center of your board, right here, the center of your vise. Put this one here, that one there, and then tighten it down. Now, you have a 3-point contact between here, here, and here. And this board is now solid, except here you have full support on the whole board. But as the board gets longer, your support on the outer edge is only from here to here. So the longer this board gets, the more difficult it will be for your vise to hold this board and keep it held. Now this board is this long, so I'm going to bring these out to the end. The further out you can be for your 3-point contact on this board, the better you'll be to hold this board. So now I put this one in, and this holds, except this edge is held supported all the way by the edge of the bench. But this outer edge, only here. So even though I'm good here, if I push on this board here or there, you can get it to actually flex or even pop out on the opposite corner because your support on the outer edge is not as good. So what do? So now we're going to take advantage of our face vise and do a board this long very simply by taking another board, piece of scrap, planing one edge down flat, and put that in your vise and bring it up flush to the top of your vise. Then I take, and I have 2 holes pre-drilled in my vise here and here for regular screws. So I can put these in here like so, and I've just extended my capacity on the outside of the board to support a longer board. The longer the board, the longer you want this piece to be. So now when I put my piece in here and I clamp it down, it's still not clamped down because I actually have this board in here in my way. This board is too thick, but that's still not a problem either. If I open it up, put this in here, and all I have to do is take a piece of scrap wood, open it up till I can set that in there. Clamp this down. And now this board is fully supported and the outer corners are supported out to here. So when you push on this corner, you're not going to have the same problem that you did when it was only to here. So by using the spacer, putting the long board, however long it has to be, and I quickly just screw it to this outer board of my vise, and I can hold any length board on this vise using this row of bench dogs and using the 3-point contact method to hold this board in place. Quick, simple, sturdy, board will stay in place, and quite honestly, I think that it's very simple to use and to set up, and when you're done, it's very easy to convert it right back to the way it was. And now I can throw this back into the scrap bin, and my vise is back to normal. And I have my bench dogs that I can put away, and they're ready for the next time I need to use this vise. No matter which way I'm holding the board, this vise will hold it. So, a face vise. Very good vise. If you're going to have one vise, this is probably the vise you want in your shop. But the other thing you want to keep in mind is that when you do this, and you're going to drill bench dog holes for holding things using this vise, drilling the holes this way isn't near as important as drilling the holes parallel to your vise. Those are the bench dog holes that you really are going to need. Anyway, I wanted to show you my new vise, show you how it works, and show you how you can really use it on any board. I don't need an end vise. I don't need a tail vise. I don't need a twin screw vise. This will do everything that those will do, and then some. So, if you like this video, say so. If you have any comments about it or any ideas, or if you show different things that you do with yours that we all would be interested in hearing about, please leave the comments below. We all love to have those comments to read. But most importantly, please come back again because, quite honestly, we're nowhere near done. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you again very soon.